Hey guys, I'm here with Elian El Chorizo Locote, Anthony El Camota Aventado, and I'm here El Gallo. And today we're going to interview three people about workplace harassment and its different forms that could take place in. And to give you an example, we'll be talking about discussing sexual activities, telling jokes including race, unnecessary touching, making sexual suggestions, using indecent gestures. And also, for example, if a catcall would be Mamacita over there. Mamacita. Yep, Mamacita for sure. I'm going to interview Robert, campus supervisor. I'm going to see if Robert is familiarized with workplace harassment and the two different kinds of workplace harassment there is. So Robert, do you know the two different kinds of workplace harassment there is?
No, I don't.
Okay, well the first kind is quid pro quo, which basically lists for that, where people of a higher position than you try to seduce you into doing things to, let's say, earn a promotion or a raise. And the second would be hostile workplace harassment, which is just an unsafe working area for employees.
Okay.
So, have you ever experienced workplace harassment?
Not particularly here, but at other places I have.
Yeah, I know that a very common one is racial joke telling.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
You've experienced that.
I've experienced that a lot.
Wow, and can you tell me a way that you could deal with that?
The way we've dealt with it is that you just go up to the person and say, hey, I'm uncomfortable with you saying stuff about my race, and if you could stop, and if it doesn't stop, then I'll have to take it to our superiors.
Right. And how can the workplace environment be improved on?
Just a lot more communication. That's how coworkers get along with each other. And to improve is to communicate with each other. If somebody knows of something that's happening, to let the other ones know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because this right here comes from the Department of Labor, and they basically researched all this and come to the conclusion that the workplace has become an unsafe area, and that a lot of the employees are getting harassed by their bosses or supervisors too. And there's definitely a call to action for our bosses to become the upper hand and trying to support their employees and rather hurt them.
Yep.
So if a coworker were to harass you, or how would you handle this? Like, let's say it would happen today.
Well, I would just talk to him and say, hey, I don't appreciate you doing that, or pull him aside and say, I don't appreciate what you did in front of my coworkers or in front of students. And if it continues, I will take it to our supervisor.
Right. Now, what if it happened after, let's say working hours?
Well, I would still tell them that it's not acceptable, because I know in the state of California, harassment goes beyond the work environment. It doesn't matter if it's at a school or your job site, or if it's a school function or anything after has to do with your job. It's still considered harassment.
All right. Well, thank you, Robert, for your time. Thank you for doing the interview.
No problem.
So I'm here with Stephanie. Stephanie, I'm going to ask you some questions about workplace harassment. Have you ever experienced it?
Yes.
So how did you deal with it?
Well, at the time I was working at my job for a week, so I didn't know how the bonds were established there. I was not aware of anyone or anything. So I went about my business, and then there's two dishwashers who decided to catcall me and say very provocative and inappropriate things to me. And at first I didn't want to say anything because I was new. I didn't want to overstep my boundaries, so I just let it go. It came to my lead server's attention, and two of my other coworkers got involved, and they decided to report it for me. So my manager called me in and told me to give my statement. I had to write it down. I had to pin out who said what was being said. They decided to do an open investigation, and they decided to bring in multiple of my other coworkers inside, see if they experienced the similarities that I did. And throughout this investigation, the result was that they got fired.
Okay, so how do you think this could be improved at your workplace?
I feel like, I don't know how other jobs do it, but I feel like in my facility, at our staff meetings, we should at least have like 5 to 10 minutes talking about these type of experiences and see how we can improve it, seeing what can be done. I feel like if we establish like better relationships within the working environment, we're new staff members can feel comfortable talking about these experiences, I feel like it would decline significantly.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for this interview, Steph. It was nice talking to you.
With Andres Gonzalez. So, Andres, can you tell me if you've ever experienced work harassment?
Yeah, so I work in a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And so there you see all kinds of stuff, like angry customers, angry managers, but this is by far the worst thing I've ever seen. So I went to the back, to the fridge to go get produce, and when I'm coming out, there's this girl cutting stuff, and this guy just comes behind her, just whines back like he's charging this attack, and smacks her right on the butt, bro. Like, I even felt it. I was like, damn, that sucks.
That's insane. Well, that sounds like a hostile work harassment situation. There's also another type of work harassment called a quid pro quo type situation, which is basically a this for that. And that situation is when a supervisor tries to harass their own employees. Well, you heard it here, folks.
Hi guys, I'm here with Sam, and I'm here to talk to you about workplace harassment. Are you familiarized with it by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any experience or witnessed workplace harassment by any chance?
Yeah, I'd say I have a little bit of experience with outside, not technically within Walmart, but I do have a lot of people that come around and they're really pushy and almost, some are sexualized, some are not, but very pushy towards like wanting to talk or hang out or want my number, and just like it gets a little bit too out of like bubble.
Too far.
Yeah, too far.
Too far.
Yeah.
Okay, so that right there would be considered a third-party harassment, where somebody outside the organization, comes and you're a victim of. And do you have any stories or?
Yeah, I have a few. I think one of like the most memorable one would be where there's a older gentleman, maybe like 60s. He was homeless, and every day for a week he would come, because I work at the jewelry counter, he would come to my jewelry counter. Obviously he can't afford anything in the case, and every day it would be the same thing. Let me buy you something, let me take you out, let me treat you good. And he just was really touchy, and it got really scary. And he was just very, very pushy and very, very touchy. And I think that would be like the most memorable moment of actual sexual harassment that really like stuck out to me, especially because it was like when I first started working here, and it was a little bit more scary, especially because I had to walk home and he was homeless, so I was just always a little bit more on edge for those first few months.
Yeah, we had a previous interview where there was a new worker who also got harassed at the workplace, and they kind of were also not really they weren't informed on whether they should report her or not until finally, let's say, her coworker reported it for her, and luckily that coworker got fired.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I haven't had any personal experience with inner work sexual harassment, but definitely outside. There are some weirdos.
Right. Especially here in Walmart, right?
Especially here.
Well, thank you for your time. Hi guys, I'm here with Sarah. She's a hairstylist, and I'm gonna inform her about workplace harassment. Are you familiar with workplace harassment?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now, do you know that there's multiple types of workplace harassments?
No.
No, there's discriminatory workplace harassment. There's basically people are discriminated because of their religion or their color.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you have any experience with workplace harassment?
I haven't personally, but one time I worked with a girl who was discriminated against. I don't know the reason why, but I just know that they didn't like her for some reason, and she went on a leave of absence, and she was coming back, and they told her that they didn't have a job for her anymore, even though she filed for disability and did all her paperwork, and they said, well, we don't know, we don't have you in your system, and basically tried to fire her when it wasn't right, but they fired her.
Right. And that right there would even fall as a harassment and under disability harassment.
Right,
where
because
people are discriminated because of their disabilities or just their differences, like she was.
yeah.
And how do you think that situation could have been handled?
Well, I guess if the managers had more training on how to deal with those type of situations, and if they were more informed on the laws that they're not allowed to discriminate or allowed to terminate employees because they've been on any type of disability, whether it's medical or any other reason.
Of course, I mean the Department of Labor even states that there's different types of harassment, and disability is one of those types. And I feel like you know, like you said, the manager should be more trained and, you know, should be more professional how they handle this situation, especially in her scenario and how she was, you know, disabled or something like that. But I just want to thank you for, you know, taking an opportunity and doing an interview with us.
My pleasure.
Thank you. This project, we learned that workplace harassment can take form in different, you know, ways, and that it doesn't really matter where you work at, whether it be at a, you know, a retail store or even a salon or even at a restaurant. You know, there's still a chance that you can be harassed at a workplace no matter the circumstances. And I hope that, you know, managers and employees learn how to be more professional and really take care of their employees, because, you know, nobody wants to work in an area that is unsafe or that there's, you know, threats, people harassing each other, and, you know, it's